this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. You don't need a lot of, there's a few supplies, but okay. I'm bringing this. This is the supplies. I need a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch piece of white card base, which is the thick, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. A piece of scrap paper. This is a piece of the grid paper. And then I'm going to be using this die here from Majestic Mountain Dies. This stamp here. And since this has no sentiments, I brought in this from Daisy Lane. I'm also using these trees. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, oh, I forgot, colors. There's a lot of ink colors. Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, Mango Melody, Pumpkin Pie, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, and Blackberry Bliss. Oh, out of picture. Okay, and then I have a couple blending brushes. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in that die. And I'm going to die cut this from this paper. And I will be right back. Okay, this is what I have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my scissors and finish this cut. So I have a piece like this. You could cut this off if you wanted here. And this piece is the one we're going to use. Let's move this so you can actually see. Okay. I'll move this out of the way here. We're just going to bring in a scratch paper. We're going to bring in this piece. We're going to start at the... Oops. You alright? I'm going to start at the top. We're going to place it on wherever we want it. There's no right or wrong. I'm going to bring in a blender brush. I'm going to start with a Daffodil Delight. I want a little bit larger space at the top so I have a place to put a sentiment. I'm going to just like that. I'm going to start on my paper and I'm just going to ink up this top section. I want the whole top nice and bright yellow. A little bit more. So I moved it just a hair, so let's put it back. Okay. I'm done with that yellow. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to move it down and I'm going to cattywampus it a little bit, move it over, make it a little crooked. Let's do it like there. It doesn't really matter. There's no right or wrong. Then I'm going to bring in Crushed Curry. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to start on the paper. Ink it up good. You want the area here along the edge of this really quite dark. If you want to use post-it notes or post-it tape or something to hold it in place, you could do that. I just held it like this. Okay, let's see if that's dark enough. I think I probably had those two colors switched, but that's alright. I'll go to the next color. Well, let's see if I can get just a little bit more on there. Just a little bit darker. Okay, awesome. Okay, now we're going to move it again. And we're going to go to Mango Melody. And I used the same brush. I didn't change brushes. Do the same thing. Really dark at the bottom. Okay, then let's move it over, move it down. We're going to go to Pumpkin Pie. Same brush, pick it up. And a little bit of variance in height here, so let's tip it just a little bit. Make sure you get these edges. Okay, I'm going to move it one more time. And we're going to do the Cajun Craze. You can do less of these if you want, that's fine too. I was inspired by a photograph I saw on Facebook. And don't forget you want it pretty dark at the base. Now, I'm going to move it down one last time. How much room is left? There's not a lot left, so let's just do a small area. Let's see, like that. And this time I'm going to change brushes. I'm going to go in with Cherry Cobbler. Take this off of there. And I'm going to do the bottom right up to the, Cherry Cobbler. Right up to those trees, the tree line. Make sure it's darker on the edges here. And I'm actually doing it a little bit darker here on this section here. I'll show you why in a second. Okay, now we're going to bring in this stamp. We're going to ink that up with the cherry cobbler. And I have something on my stamp. I'm going to try to line this up with this image that I have there. And I'm going to stamp. Awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with the Blackberry Bliss. Whoops, avalanche. I'm going to come in with these trees. I have 2 different stamps. I'm going to ink them up in Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to start stamping trees down here at the bottom. Now I don't want the stems to show, so I'm going to start this one off the page. I'm going to do another one beside it. It can vary up and down a little bit if you get where it doesn't, where you see the stems. I just turned it like this and stamped a little bit over the top of it, so it's not quite as pronounced. Okay. Now this one I want to go higher, and then I'm actually going to go in and fill it in like I just showed you. Okay, I'm going to come in with this single tree. I'm going to do a couple of those. Okay, then I'm going to come back in with the double tree. I want them pretty tight. Let's do this one once more in the end. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the smile. I'm going to stamp that up here in this top section. Awesome. All right. It's really simple. I'm just going to adhere this to the front of the card. You could do it right on the front of your card, but I don't, in case you mess up, I don't know, I always do it on a separate piece. And plus this one has just a tiny bit of a border, so it gives you just a little bit of interest. And that's it. There you go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.